10 splits. Does hook. 5 in a row. Uh-oh. Crack it open, Randy. I'm thirsty.
What is going on, everybody? It is Frank the Tank, and that was the Timeless, and we are officially off and running with this Belmo Ball Review series. And I'd say we're off to a pretty great start. Unfortunately, I didn't get a 700 series, but that's okay. I'll explain why I think I didn't get it. You know, at least I can say that finally I got to properly use this timeless for a couple games. I say that because I did have a timeless way back when I first started making, bowling content on this channel, and at that time things were terrible. The pin, the top weight, the drilling layout that was on it, my skill level, my game, all terrible. That was all horribly, horribly done. So yeah, things were not proper then. But the ball was 15 pounds, but still, I needed some major work to be done. So here we are now, and I told myself like if I was ever going to use the timeless again, I was going to do things the right way. So obviously here we are, and my skill level, my approach, my game, all that has gotten a much needed improvement. And then of course, as for the ball, um, I put what I would consider to be, I mean, I don't know if Belmo would confirm this or not, but I put on the layout that I would say is probably his favorite, his number one, that he puts on like 95% of his bowling balls, the pin above the bridge with the mass bias over to the right. But in numbers, because my pin to PAP is 5.5 and 3/8 up, the numbers for that layout, pin above the bridge, is 60 by 5.5 by 60, I believe. So um, it was only right. If it's a Belmo ball, that's my rule. I know it's kind of a stupid rule, but if it's a ball with the Belmo logo on it, it's gonna have 60 by 5.5 by 60 on it, with the exception of the Belmo spare ball. Um, but oh yeah, speaking of the Belmo spare ball, yes, if you guys didn't see my community post, I said I was going to bring the original black Belmo spare ball off the shelf for the first time. I mean, I have thrown it like once or twice for video purposes. But after that, I told myself I would never ever use this ball because this thing is obviously very rare. It's very expensive, very hard to find, and I am very afraid of it getting chipped and scratched and horribly ruined. And so I would just resort to using the overseas ones or the white ones since I have like so many of those. So I figured, you know what? It's only right that I take this black Belmo off the shelf since we're using all these Belmo bowling balls. So I did it, and it hurt a little to throw that ball down the lane. And every single time I did, I cringed on the inside because, I'm thinking, oh God, is this ball going to come back chipped or scratched or something? And surprisingly, no, that thing is a tank. It came back without a scratch. So yay for that. So now we have obviously a couple more videos that we have to do with that bowling ball, and then after that it's going back on the shelf and I am not picking it up. So anyway, let's talk about the timeless. So I didn't really know what to expect because I didn't know how it was going to work for my game. And now, even though, like I said, I did use it way back in the past, but that was when, I sucked. But yeah, I can say honestly, it was a struggle. It was a very big struggle because the main thing that made it difficult for me was the that extra, like that late response to the friction. That's what really killed me out there. Um, I believe it has a hybrid cover on it. I can't remember. I know it's not a pearl cover, but it sure acts like if it had a pearl cover on it. Um, but yeah, that extra skid, you guys can clearly see that ball. Like it has a little extra skid after when it gets way down there, and then right after that skid, what you get after the change of direction is a very heavy roll, and that's cool to see. But that's usually what my preference. It's why I put that layout. I can't remember what it is. Let me see. Hold on. I know because there is. I do have a go-to layout that I like to put on a lot of my bowling balls, and that is 85 by 4.25 by 50. That drops down the flare on a bowling ball and allows it to roll more. And that's what this ball did, despite the fact that I had a different layout on it. But that extra skid is what made it super difficult. That's what really killed it for me. So during that first game, I like automatically knew like okay, I'm just gonna have to try my best to repeat the shots, really pay attention here and just hope to God that everything works. And it turned out okay. The second game I felt should have been higher than the first. Obviously, the first was more like the warm up, and then the second is where you should like really really just go off. And then the third one, I was really really worried because I felt like because of that the way that ball was working, I felt like it was going to be super difficult. But surprisingly, I managed to tie what I got in the first game, and I don't know how, but I did it. So I guess for my own personal preference, this ball just doesn't really work for me because of that the way it reacts down lane. That bottom line, that extra skid is if that wasn't there, I think things would be a lot better for me. But then again, I think that is why they created the drive, and obviously that is what we're going to do next. So I'm very curious to see how the drive is going to work. Since let's be honest, we already know what it is, but I'm not going to talk about it here because this is strictly timeless. So. Yeah, I mean, in the third game, though, however, um, I don't know what to tell you there. I felt like I was making good shots, and the ball just wasn't carrying through the pins really well. I'm pretty sure I left like a couple tens, some sevens. I don't know when that 7-10 came up. I don't think it happened in the third game. It must have happened in the second. But yeah, carry was definitely a slight issue here, and as for everything else, I don't know what to tell you, but yeah, it sucks that this ball really didn't work all that great for me. I mean, I still managed a decent series in the end. I mean, I know a lot of you are saying, dude, that you got close to 700. You're calling that decent? Well, considering the level that I'm at right now, I'm not saying I'm the greatest here, but considering how easy it is to bowl on house shot, and because I'm so used to bowling in these lanes, like I'm so used to the environment and all that, it's easy stuff for me now. So yeah, I definitely got to get into bowling on different patterns now. I think it's time. Like the fact that I'm able to string strikes so easily now, and I've been doing a lot of tournaments and stuff at those lanes, and just to see how I can handle a competitive type of environment. It's actually going pretty well, and in fact. For those not, I'm trying not to get too far off the subject here, but I did manage to record me bowling at like a tournament. It was a little small tournament. It wasn't like a big deal. It only had like 20 people, but I know a lot of you have been curious to know um, how I'm able to hold off in a competitive environment in a tournament, and you guys are finally going to get to see that. So once I'm done with all this, I'm probably going to get to work on that so you guys can see how I do. And yeah, so anyway, enough about me rambling on. That was the timeless. Those are my thoughts on it. That's how I finally did with it. We can scratch that one off the list, and now we can move on to the drive and see how that works for me. I imagine it's going to work better, considering they took notes off of what they did at the timeless, and were like, it's almost like they make a movie and then they capitalize with the sequel. Like how can we make this better? We can do this and we can do that. So I imagine I'm going to do a whole hell of a lot better with the drive than I do with the timeless. So anyway, I'm Frank the Tank. I hope you guys enjoyed video number 1 in this Belmo series. We now move on to the drive. See you guys in a couple days.